It is July 17th, 2025, and Area 51 is on fire. This is Inverted World Live. Welcome back, everybody. This is Inverted World Live, and I am your host, Shane Cashman. You heard that right. Area 51 is on fire. It's a giant fire, 15,000 acres. Who knows what's going on? We're going to get into that. But for those who don't know, this is a call-in show. Our phone lines are open till midnight. We have our link to call in pinned in the chats on both Rumble and YouTube. You have a strange story, an encounter you can't explain. If you've been brainwashed by the military, if you've been abducted by tall grays, if you've seen a cryptid, we've had Bigfoot stories. We've had a story where someone called in about a lady who hit a Bigfoot in California. We've had stories from people who've seen werewolves. You have some story you want to share, we want to hear about it. Or if you've heard something that we've discussed on the show and you want to give us a little more information or tell us where we've been wrong, I want to hear that too. So we're looking forward to hearing from everybody tonight. This is our last night of the last show of the week. We'll be back on Monday next week. But before we continue, guys, we have another sponsor. We have our second sponsor. This is awesome. We are grateful for the sponsors, and we're grateful for you guys out there helping this show grow. Everything you've been doing, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, it's been incredible. And so now we have our second sponsor. So let's have it. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check. The smooth, medium roast and the Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Amen to that. I am very anti-plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions. And a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. I got more for you guys. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something. Just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe. Awesome. Thank you to 1775 Coffee at 1775coffee.com for sponsoring tonight's show. I am joined by Alex.
Hi, Shane. Hi, everybody. How's it going tonight?
Oh, it's going great. It's crazy.
I am sitting in the chair today for Brandon Miner. He will be back on Monday, but it's good to be here. Happy to be here. Speaking of Bigfoot, I'm always worried that I'm going to hit one on the way home. Don't you worry about that?
They're everywhere. They're behind all the trees on my drive home.
I swear.
Constantly.
Not fun.
And we are joined by a very special guest tonight, 6'7" Kevin. What's up?
Howdy there.
Who are you?
Good to be here.
Who are you, sir?
I'm basically a walking Sasquatch. I'm about as tall as one.
We caught a cryptid. We caught a cryptid.
You have one in studio.
That's awesome.
But I have some cool Sasquatch stories to tell potentially,
sweet.
and a lot of other ghost and alien stories. So I'm excited.
Well, perfect. We will get into that. I would love to hear those stories and everything you're up to. Real quick, tell everyone what you're promoting. Don't you have something coming out soon?
Yeah, for sure. I've been working with Tim, and we just came out with this documentary. It's releasing Monday on Rumble Premium.
Sick.
At 6 p.m. It'll be free. When it goes live after that, you need premium.
Awesome.
So check it out live if you can. If not, get Rumble Premium. But basically, Tim invested in boots on the ground journalism. I went all the way through Panama, up through Mexico to the Texas border.
Wow.
Talking to deportees, Border Patrol, cartel members, and
great.
I got to see some of the dark stuff that the cartel is into, some of like the Santa Muerta worship and some of those other, saw mass graves and some of the other dark things that are happening in Mexico spiritually.
Wow. Yeah, I'm really excited to hear about that. That's a wild time to be doing it right now. When did you start doing it?
It was the last 3 months.
Wow.
I said, Tim, I could make a feature film in 3 months.
Perfect.
And it was a little ambitious, but we did it.
That's great.
You know, and it was scary as heck because the cartels right now they are so angry because their business got shut off because the border got shut down. So they're not making money hand over fist from trafficking humans and drugs.
Right.
So now there's infighting. And so it has gotten more bloody, more brutal in Mexico. If you look at the violence rating, it's at extreme right now. It's in the red zone because it is sketchy.
I mean, there was like 30 political assassinations there last year, right?
Oh, it's unbelievable. If
It's
you look
insane.
at the last election, there was lopping offs of heads of
Yeah.
multiple different
Police,
people running.
right? As well, didn't they take that one lady's head off and put it on her car?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's an insane story.
Oh, man, I had to edit videos of beheadings for this documentary. It was terrible.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
the worst.
That you're seeing?
Yeah, because I was looking for cartel videos because I was trying to verify the
Wow.
violence.
Wow.
And, oh, man, it was just rough. I just woke up in the morning like, great, I get to edit people cutting their heads off today. You know?
It hurts your soul.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't done reporting to that degree, but I've been around, you know, catching pedophiles and seeing, not war torn, but places that look war torn from explosions and neighborhoods that have been devastated by toxic waste. And it messes with your soul.
It does.
I can't imagine seeing beheadings. That's
man.
insane.
Yeah, it's rough.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about that, though I'm a little nervous. But I think the audience is going to love hearing about it. What's it called?
Sin Frontera.
Incredible. Tell us about that.
So, well, the name as it comes, it means no borders.
Okay.
In Spanish, I saw it in graffiti by the Beast Train,
Mm.
and I thought it was brilliant because it also alludes to this is the sin frontier. I felt like,
Right.
You know, 'cause-
There's no moral borders.
yeah, there's no moral borders, and you know the only place that doesn't have borders is hell.
Yeah, for real. For real. Wow.
That's one way of putting it.
Wow. Well, I am anxious to hear all about that. We're stoked you're here. Before we get into all that, I just want to mention to everyone who is just now joining us, call-in show. Our link to call-in is pinned in the chat on both Rumble and YouTube. Give us a call. It's audio only. We'd love to hear your stories. And but first, we got to talk about Area 51. This is a story that was meant for this show. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then a story like this happens. This is a crazy one. So let's see here. Let me pull up my article here. You want to play that video, Alex?
Sure.
For those just listening, we're watching a landscape on fire. It says conspiracy theorists claim everything from a crashed UFO could have started this. Or a cover-up gone wrong. But there you have it.
There we go.
There is footage
Her
of
diabetes supply.
and there's a diabetes commercial. Don't listen, it's a psyop, people. A massive fire has broken out near the infamous Area 51, sending plumes of smoke into the sky and UFO enthusiasts into a panic, as well as the people in the room at Inverted World Live. A live stream camera set up on private land just outside the heavily guarded Groom Lake facility near Rachel, Nevada, captured eerie footage of smoke rising from deep within the classified base. The blaze was sparked by, I love this name, the Gothic Fire, which has grown from 8,000 acres to 35,000 since starting on July 4th of all days. It has been confirmed as a lightning-sparked wildfire. Or has it? I don't know, guys. But that has not stopped speculation, there you go, from spiraling online with conspiracy theorists, those pesky people, claiming everything from a crashed experimental craft to a cover-up gone wrong. I'm not saying anything other than it was aliens. Skywatch Signal, a group that monitors strange sightings shared on X.
Oh,
Of
God.
course, they could have just put the meme in. Area 51 has become a cultural phenomenon thanks to decades of conspiracy theories connecting the base to UFOs, alien, and experimental aircraft testing. You guys know Lockheed Martin's out there. There's weird stuff going out there. While the fire is around 15 miles outside of the military base, it is currently sweeping over where above-ground nuclear testing occurred, the Nevada test site, which sits 65 miles northwest of Las Vegas. This site, now known as the Nevada National Security Site, was established for nuclear weapons testing during the Cold War, and there is still nuclear debris and contamination in the area. The fire is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Defense, which is listed as the landowner for Area 51 and surrounding regions. I just want to find something really quick, another article I had here that I thought was funny, but also...
So they had to like burn it down, and tomorrow they're going to release aliens.
I just want to mention in this other article, after growing over the course of several days with no containment, the Bureau of Land Management, which is also known as BLM, I just like that there's a BLM involved with this fire. It's always so close to fire. But yes, people are speculating that they are just burning down, they're destroying evidence of who knows what. We've had so many stories in the past few weeks of the Pentagon allegedly caught in lies, trying to tell you that there's been alien, extraterrestrial, UFO stuff happening, when in fact they were covering up for Lockheed Martin secret weapons testing and aircraft testing, and they're trying to divert us. But we also know there's a lot of weird stories.
Next, they're going to say there is no Area 51.
Oh, nice. That is what they do now. It's a hoax.
It's a hoax.
It's all a hoax.
And it's all the
Made up by
Democrats.
Yeah.
Man, Comey wrote Area 51. I should have seen this coming, guys. It's ridiculous. Have you ever been out to Area 51 or anywhere in Nevada?
I actually have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's your experience out there?
It was interesting because I have some friends that are just obsessed with Area 51, and they wanted to go past it. And it's fascinating because when you go around there, and I love asking people just about their personal experiences.
Yeah.
There's just a ton of people that live around there that have an incredible amount of alien stories.
I'm sure.
Are they humans?
Yeah.
That's a good question, And it was funny too because there was actually one guy, he called me, the Nordic race of aliens, like the tall 7 foot.
I mean, we were all thinking it.
Yeah. I've had moments where they've thought I'm an alien before. I'm like,
He's wearing a skin suit, everyone.
The 6'7" foot creatures walking out of the desert to ask questions. Don't probe me. 6'7" Kevin.
the real question though is, what do aliens smell like when they're on fire? What does charred aliens smell like?
That's a great question. If anyone out there is from Nevada and you are getting a whiff of this fire, please call in and let us know. I imagine it's not very good. It can't be good. But there is a history of burnings that Area 51 has been a part of. Not just so they're claiming this is wildfires. They're saying it's lightning. Perhaps these things do happen. We know that. It did make me think of Canada burning down like a year or two ago. That summer we had, where down here and up to New York, the sky was like orange because of wildfires in Canada. That were very, it was odd how they were just spreading across all of Canada. And people were saying perhaps it's arson, which we know happens in places like LA. They blame it on climate change. Turns out it was arson. Maybe some of the people who started those fires you wound up seeing in Mexico because that's what they do. Because we saw those videos, guys. But Area 51 does have a history of weird fires. And I wanted to pull up this other article, Alex. It's at Las Vegas Review Journal. This is disconcerting. This is from 2007. This is about their burn pits.
What?
Yeah, I know. It felt weird saying out loud. Trust me.
We say a lot of weird things on this show.
This is true. For 17 years, Fred Dunham never spoke publicly about where he used to work or what he once did at the place he calls the location. Dunham says he feared he would be arrested and sent to jail for breaching a national security oath he took in 1981 when he was hired by EG&G Special Projects. But last week, he went on the record about the 9 years he spent as a security officer at the classified Air Force installation 90 miles north of Las Vegas, telling a Department of Labor hearing representative how he supervised burning of poisonous stealth coatings in large open pits. Welcome to the dystopia. And this is old, guys. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. We know they've been making weird stuff out there. A lot of the things I think a lot of people think are UFOs are the things that have been built out there in Area 51. That, he said, is the root of his ongoing health problems, including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And Dunham said he doesn't want his chance at compensation to be lost because he can't talk about his work. That's fair enough. Like hundreds of former Nevada test site workers, Dunham is seeking compensation under an act that gives $150,000 to Energy Department workers and contractor workers who can prove their sometimes fatal illnesses are linked to exposure to toxic materials where they worked during the Cold War era. Under no circumstances was this material to be destroyed in an open pit environment. It was supposed to be destroyed in an EPA-certified incinerator. Dunham, 56, told Labor Department hearing agent Sandra Vicens-Pasenka about the disposal process. At the time, EG&G Special Projects was a subcontractor for the Department of Energy and Department of Defense. Dunham wore an Energy Department badge that allowed him access to the location. I left there because I was medically de-accessed by the military site physician because of my breathing problems, he said, before the hearing. I coughed so hard that I separated the ribs on this side of my chest. That sounds terrible. Dunham said the Air Force has absolutely denied that anything occurred at the location. I am the individual who signed for the 100 gallons of diesel fuel, and I observed the pit being ignited. That was my job. And that was a quote for those listening. He didn't have to spell out for Vicens-Pasenka the place where this occurred, the 38,400-acre installation along the dry Groom Lake bed, where for decades, such high-tech U.S. aircraft as the U-2 Dragon Lady, I mean, come on, you name it the Dragon Lady, and SR-7 with Blackbird spy planes and the F-117A Nighthawk stealth fighter jet have been tested. Among the documents Dunham submitted was a March 2nd letter to him from Senator Harry Reid, Democrat from Nevada. That names the location. Thank you for contacting me about federal compensation for Area 51 workers, the letter begins. In addition, Dunham presented Vicens-Pasenka with a letter from his doctor stating that he has chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and that he was in excellent health prior to working in that particular site. So I'll leave it there for that. I don't have to go through the whole article, but that is just, I mean, not a unique story for people who work in the military. We know what happened to people in Vietnam with Agent Orange and how that affected generations. We know what the government has done with thalidomide. It reminded me of, I was just telling you about neighborhoods that have been destroyed by like toxic waste. I was in East Palestine after the train exploded. Yeah. They did not have to explode that train. They would later find out. And I went there like 2 weeks after they decided to blow it up. And it was because they were afraid of the vinyl chloride that was leaking out of the one trailer that had been on its side. So they decided to very quickly put plastic bombs on it and blow it sky high, which literally, this is the scientist terminology, inverted the atmosphere. So everything got trapped above East Palestine for an amount of time. There were people with apiaries saying all their bees died. They were told they couldn't use their cattle anymore. And this is like in Ohio where a lot of people rely on their agriculture. You know, and the train tracks go right through the center of that town. So, you know, I was talking to all the small businesses completely affected. They used the water there. That was infected. Mm-hmm. It was devastated and they couldn't do anything about it. You know, they got $500. That's like that's like a bag of groceries. Yeah. You know, it's insane. And the EPA totally mismanaged that. Norfolk Southern totally mismanaged that. Highly recommend if you're ever really bored and want to go listen to the Norfolk Southern hearing about how that train eventually derailed. It's insane because they were relying on sensors that didn't work and people that couldn't pick up on the sensors not working. The wheel was burning, then it derailed, then they decided to blow it up. Total mess. And it's so heartbreaking. And you know, a lot of people were immediately having health issues from the vinyl chloride, and you know, they made it worse by blowing it up. And there's a lot of instances in this country of places being completely destroyed by toxic waste, and they call brown sites, and the government just takes them. You know, they're ours now. I think it was Times Beach, Missouri, that was completely devastated by, I forget the chemical substance, but so bad they kicked everyone out, and then it was eminent domain. You know, happens all the time. And you think about that time frame was also, Maui didn't happen too far after all that. It's insane what these people are putting up with, and it's very aggravating.
Well, it's actually pretty close to that area near northern Arizona. I did a report on the Navajo Nation and the nuclear damage that they took there, because they were the folks that mined all of the raw material that they created the bombs that they dropped on the Japanese with. Oh man! And the families are still going through problems today. I'm sure the health defects and all this kind of stuff.
How bad was it? Like, do you remember?
It was rough. I got like video. You know, you could see like like warts all over people's skin. You know, people just had like birth defect problems. And the thing was, with some of these pits that they were mining this uranium out of, they didn't even seal it properly. So the government was supposed to do its job and seal it, but it's still open. And because there wasn't a lot of education about it, the Navajo people would literally go to the mine and jump in the water.
Oh no.
And just play in the water. They're like, yeah, the water was kind of glowing a little bit, but we didn't think about it.
And this is in the 40s and 50s?
Yeah.
And it's still affecting generations?
Still affecting them today and still not sealed properly today.
That's insane.
It's very Aaron Brockovich.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's beyond. I mean,
Yeah.
but the Aaron Brockovich stuff, like, it's turned into like a joke.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere.
Yeah.
My little town had a problem where the gas station leaked into all the water supply. You know, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere's safe. But we were just talking a few weeks ago about the soldiers they lined up to watch the bombs. You know, and there's all these videos
yeah.
of just
Isn't that
soldiers.
nuts?
It's nuts. They're just nothing. They're just their helmet.
Yeah.
Stare at the explosion.
Oh, it's great. Well, and all the testing sites too throughout Nevada, New Mexico,
Yep.
there's still the fallout from that. And
Right.
those people are actually getting compensated.
Oh,
But
really?
these people for the mines, they don't get compensated
so
out of the mines.
ridiculous.
It's crazy. But so much of it is government land around there. And it's, you think about it, it's like, where are you going to have these huge burn pits? Where are you going to do that
Right.
kind of stuff? It's like Nevada is 80% government owned land.
Yeah,
So
they're doing
it's-
weird stuff out there.
It's the perfect place to do your weird stuff.
And it doesn't just stay there. Like, it's not contained, right? Like, that gets into everything. Like in East Palestine, it was about 3 weeks later, I'd gotten home from the explosion. I'm over here, and this weird dust, this strange thing coated everything in West Virginia in one morning. And everyone thought it was snow, but it wasn't it wasn't snow. If you looked at it, it looked chemical. And I swear to you, when the sun hit it, it dissolved. Like, but not like how snow would dissolve.
Wow.
It was like an ash on a cigarette.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "That's East Palestine, right?" And everyone, all the newspapers, all the experts said it said it was dust from the southwest.
Unbelievable. How much it spreads. Like, nobody thinks about that with the nuclear test sites, how the
Right.
the wind pushes it. Even with the uranium mining, it went
Exactly.
down the Colorado River.
Right.
And it's like, that's the main waterway for
Dude,
it's
everything.
unbelievable.
It's like the climate change activists have it wrong. Like
This kind
they
of
see it
stuff.
all wrong because we have
Yeah.
totally mutilated the environment with the bombs, with all the forever chemicals. They see it in another way, and they have completely deranged ways of taking care of it, like blocking the sun. You know,
Yeah, what is that one?
Bill
Right?
Gates, Scopex, he wants to
Yeah.
throw a bunch of dust in the air
I
to
heard they
reflect the light
approved
back.
that. Is that true?
I've heard that too. They've
Do you say no to Bill Gates?
Nobody says no to Bill.
well, he has been denied a few times by the government, but he
Wink, wink.
yeah, yeah, publicly.
Yeah.
But in San Francisco, I believe they are testing it. There's a university testing it right now. San Francisco has a weird history of doing like weird things. They did the bio warfare. They sent the chemicals into the atmosphere above San Francisco in the 40s
they?
to test how to treat bio warfare. So they did
Unbelievable.
bio warfare. We had a lady call in. Her mother was someone who got
Oh, yeah.
sick from the chemical.
Really?
Operation Sea Spray.
Yeah.
Wow.
But everything's messed up. So anyway, a year goes by after East Palestine and that weird coating, and then the papers all of a sudden are, oh, it was from East Palestine. A year later, like
But no one's
that's-
even paying attention, so
no one
it doesn't
cared.
matter.
Yeah, so it's unbelievable. When you
Was-
were out in Nevada, were you filming stuff? Were you interviewing people for like what you do, or were you just there for fun?
I actually I was there filming a homeless documentary in Vegas,
Oh,
funny
wow.
enough, and then I decided to keep traveling to go to other places like Reno and
Oh, wow.
film another homeless documentary up there. But I just naturally love asking people questions. You know,
Yeah.
it's just what I do.
It's the best.
Is homeless the worst in Vegas out of anywhere?
If you're a homeless person, it's the worst place to live as a homeless
Because
person.
it's so hot. It's a desert, yeah.
Well, and it's because of the laws there too. Like, even if you as a normal person try to sit down on the strip, they kick you off. So what the
that's
homeless people did is they moved to the tunnels. There's these
Mm-hmm.
water tunnels underneath Vegas. And so I went in there, they call them the mole people because they just live in these waterways under these
Whoa.
tunnel systems. And that is dark. Those are haunted, and I recorded a ghost's voice in that tunnel. I
Did you
got
bring
it
it with
on
you?
audio. I can send it to you if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where should I
Whoa.
send it?
Oh.
Is it on YouTube or?
can you
It is on YouTube.
It might be best to send a link if you know where the timestamp is. That's probably best to get to you, right?
Alex at Timcast.
Yeah.
Alex at Timcast.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send it here.
So
Give me
these
just a
tunnels are like
second.
right below.
alex@timcast.com.
Gotcha.
The tunnels they've got, the homeless people have gone into them. We've got mole people now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have mole people around most of the cities. I think New York City's got them for sure. Yeah, it's bad out there too. How long ago was that?
Well, I went here multiple times because people started to get interested in it. So I took Jason Jones from Newsmax down there and these different folks because they had these different tunnels they call. One was the meth tunnel. The other was the fentanyl tunnel.
Okay.
And it would be like communities
tunnel.
of people that live in these tunnels.
Wow.
And they had ghost stories. And I put it in my, if you go to 6'7" Kevin on YouTube and you look for Dregs of the City, Las Vegas, there's an entire chapter where they talk about seeing shadow people, ghost stories of when they're in the tunnels. This one guy, he had lived in the tunnels for 3 years and it's pitch black in there at night, you know? And he said that it's like suddenly everything got cold and he could just feel the cold. And then he said he looked up and he saw a figure. It's pitch black in there, no light, but he saw a figure and the figure was blacker than black.
Hoo-wee.
And he said that the figure said that he was older than light itself.
Oh man.
Whew, it still gives me kind of a little heebie-jeebies.
And you were in these tunnels.
I was in these tunnels and they feel haunted, bro. Like, I have a pretty good sense of that. Like, my buddies actually take me into places when they're going to rent them and be like, Kevin, is this place haunted? And I've called it out multiple times where the realtor's like, I wish you wouldn't have asked. It actually
Why
is.
you got to bring this guy in here? It's
Yeah,
messing up this deal.
exactly.
What's it like the temperature like down there? Is it cool, like damp and weird?
It's a little cooler, as you can imagine. Yeah. And the interesting thing is, though, is that there's water that kind of flows through there. And so it kind of has its own climate of its own. And if you think about it, it is a good escape from the heat, you know, to go down there.
Of course.
So,
I thought it would be like stuffy though.
you'd be surprised because they're so big. These tunnels are huge waterways that are like 8 feet tall, 8 feet wide, and they open up into bigger chambers, deeper.
Wow.
And we even found like chains on the wall where it was like, oh, and we heard of people being brought in there for, you know, torture, sex kind of stuff.
What?
And the tunnels go up to the casinos. So the old mobsters built tunnels from casino to casino that work with the water tunnels, and so they would traffic like people through there. And I met a prostitute that was trafficked through the tunnels, and she was like, yeah, here's one of the entrances over here and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Wow.
I just shot you the video.
Yeah, pull that up.
Okay.
It's at the very end, around like 1 hour and 3 minutes in.
Homeless people have great stories.
They're honest.
Yeah, exactly. They have like nothing else. I mean, do you feel like, are they on drugs sometimes? And can you kind of suss that out? What they're saying is like
For sure.
induced by drugs.
That is part of it. I mean, you've heard of the meth psychosis, where if you stay up for multiple days, you see the shadow people and things like that. And I'm sure that has a part to do with it. But then the other thing is that these are flood tunnels. And so when these homeless people are in there, you got to imagine they're on fentanyl. They're all doped out. And then suddenly this water rushes through there and will kill like 20 homeless people at a time and wash them to Lake Mead. And the dead bodies will end up in Lake Mead. So I went to Lake Mead and I was like, you guys finding dead bodies out here? They're like, yeah, all the time.
Wow. Just getting flushed out.
Just getting flushed out. So, I mean, if you think about trauma, if ghosts are caused by trauma death situations, that could be one of the reasons why those tunnels are just crazy
I think so.
haunted.
I think places absorb that trauma. Like we talk about battlefields a lot because we're surrounded by battlefields out here, you know, and there's like a trauma energy in them. You also go there knowing, so like you're also projecting that onto it, but you feel it. Like I grew up in a really old house. I'm kind of like a tuning fork to that as well. Like something's just wrong with this old house. Something bad happened here, but I can't imagine the tunnels.
Yeah, well, you were covering some of the old Civil War battlefields and stuff like that. Did that have that feeling?
Watch what
It didn't help when there were witches doing blood magic.
Oh, what?
Under full moons. Yeah, on the bloodiest battlefield of the Revolution on Valentine's Day.
That does not help.
No. That Georgia, the whole state of Georgia has trauma. I think a lot of it from the March to the Sea. You know, when Sherman burnt everything down. And unlike, I'm from New York, and everyone kind of moves away. In Georgia, everyone's there forever. Not everyone, but you know, like every family I talk to can draw a direct line to the people who came to Georgia before it was even called Georgia.
Interesting.
So they fought, you know, they were like Indians, they were in the Revolutionary War, they were in the Civil War, and it's a direct line, and they know those stories.
Yeah.
So they like that trauma passes easily from person to person.
Deep.
And they so like today they still feel it.
Where did you
Let's
say
hear,
it
let's
was
hear
in?
this.
An hour and 3
Yeah, about
minutes?
an hour and 3 minutes in.
Just
I put it
burning.
at the very end,
Okay.
and I kind of add like text explanation too.
Perfect.
So this was that guy that I was talking to that lives in the tunnels. So he's walking back into his house here.
Wow.
I did a really prolonged outro because it was an emotional ending.
Yeah, I imagine
Oh.
these stories must be wild.
So yeah, over text if you're just listening. So we had a woman's voice that we picked up. So in text on the screen here it says the woman's voice in the video can't be explained. During the 2 hours that we filmed with Shaggy, the crew never heard or saw a woman, only to hear her through the microphone. And what she said was, "What are you doing here in my tunnel? What are you doing here?" And if you'll notice, there's no here it is.
What are you doing down here?
Yeah, you can shine the light that way so you can see.
What are you doing?
I was
that?
on it.
Oh yeah.
Not much.
Hey, how's it going, man?
How's it going? I go. No?
You want to use the light?
Yeah, please.
So here too, and this is a big point. When we were filming him, and you hear our voices, you hear the resonance and the echo of our voice. But her vocals are it's almost like it's spoken directly into the mic, and there's no feedback of the environment.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It plays again here if you keep it going.
Yeah, definitely.
You good? What are you doing down here?
Yeah, you can shine the light that way so you can see.
What are you doing?
Did you hear it
That was going
as it
on.
was happening?
No. Hey, how's it going,
How's it
man?
going? I go. No?
You want to use the light?
Yeah, please.
So the other guys on the crew after this, because none of us heard that voice, and there was no woman there at all for sure.
Right.
And literally one of the guys on the crew bought a Bible the next day.
As you
But
should.
it's so dark. Is she just like you just couldn't see her?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too. But then there's no resonance on the voice, and it's like, where was she? You know, this
She
is an
sounds
8 foot
right-
by 8
Well,
foot
she's
tunnel.
right there.
Right.
So
It does. She sounds inside. Like the quality of the recording of her voice is different.
Yeah,
That's weird, dude.
I don't
it's
like that.
weird. And I showed it to some people that do ghost hunting and stuff like that, and they're like, "This is nuts!" Like people try to search for this for years, ghost
Right.
hunting, to get something that clear.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
clear.
But it still makes my hair stand up hearing it. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I don't know, but
So when it comes to homeless people, how long you been doing this?
I've been about 2 years now.
Okay.
And yeah, I started out doing it because I just wanted to figure out what's going on with homeless people. So I literally
Yeah.
just went out there and like slept and lived with homeless people for a few weeks in
Yeah, it's
Phoenix.
great.
And it's interesting because they're the last people that are honest in society, I
Mm.
say, because they have nothing to lose. So they'll tell you their political opinion. They'll tell you their craziest ghost story, and they're not in fear of losing their job or anything
Right.
like that.
Right.
And so I loved interviewing them, you know, and so that was the start of my documentary journey.
I love that. I also love talking to homeless people. You know, in New York, we had a bunch. I lived in the city for a while, but also in upstate New York, and just they all had wild. Some of them were just schizophrenic, you know, and like I became friendly with some schizophrenics.
Yeah.
I think some of them were tapped into like another type of truth.
Yeah,
Right. You ever talk
right?
to schizophrenics?
Oh, yeah.
They're wild. You know, and they're obsessed with power, war, depending on the type. But a lot of the ones I knew were obsessed with nuclear war, dictators, and whatever, like Elvis and like pop culture figure. But what was your experience with like a schizophrenic?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had similar experiences. And when you say that, I feel like, you know, we just push these people to the edge of society and say that they're worthless.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, if you really spend time listening to them, a lot of it is truly crazy.
Yeah.
But then there's kernels of it where you're like, wow,
Yep.
what are they tapped into something we don't understand?
I think
You know,
so.
because it's like, it's almost like maybe the schizophrenia lowers that veil or something like that so they can interact more with the spirit world, and maybe that drives them crazy or something like that.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I think they're tapped into something because like the one guy, this guy Howard, who just disappeared after a summer of him and I talking every day
Oh, wow.
in this town of Beacon, New York. And he made sometimes no sense. And every time I saw him, it was like a new time, but he also understood that we were friends before. It was very strange. But things he said, this is 15, 17 years ago are just now starting to make sense to me. Maybe I'm going schizophrenic, but like he was talking about certain things with war and religion that seemed just like high level poetry that made no sense. They're now starting to click. I'm like, wow, I think he was tapped into something. You know, there are some that are, I know people who've had experience with some schizophrenics and it's not good.
Yeah.
It can be very violent.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so you said Phoenix is, or Vegas is the worst for homeless right now?
If you're living as a homeless person, you know,
Yeah.
I would say the capital is LA, of
Yeah,
course, you
yeah.
know, with Skid Row and everything. And that was what was interesting, was because I traveled to city to find out what the vibe was like. I called it Dregs of the City.
Right.
It's on YouTube. And it was to explore the dark side of each city.
Yeah.
And to really understand it. And it was interesting because like each city I would go to, there was a different experience of darkness, but there was similarities. And it was fascinating because a lot of these guys, they had dark experiences that they wanted to talk about, and nobody has ever asked them about it. And so it was like there was a gratitude when I came up, and they could tell that I was truly listening to them.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
great.
very open-minded, so you could tell that they're like, I'm not thinking they're crazy, and
Right.
they loved it, you know.
Right.
And so they would open up just all of these things that they've experienced, and then I let it be up to the audience. You guys can decide if they're speaking the truth or not. It's
Yeah.
not up to me.
I love that. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's great. And there's not a lot of journalism like that these days, especially like what we'll get into with what you did with the border and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of people are doing that right now. And I don't think, you know, the whole Douglas Murray debate with like, you have to have been there. I don't think you always have to have been there, because we know journalists lie, but there's nothing like really good on the ground reporting. Because you can
100%.
actually, if you're someone that people can trust, you can actually send back good feedback, like good information that's affecting people. And the homeless people is like learning, like what you said, the dregs of society. Like this is what can happen to civilization. Sometimes it looks like a Renaissance painting, right? Like an old, mangled, like the Champion of Death. I forget the name of the painting. Where it's just got bodies. It's littered with bodies.
Yeah.
That's sometimes how it looks.
It does.
At some of these homeless places.
Oh, it's dark.
It's really
Yeah.
bad.
Well,
So-
and Shaggy, that guy that was in that video, he had an amazing statement. He was this 18-year-old kid, you know, and just decided to live in the tunnels because he just wanted to do drugs all day. And he told me, I went into this because I'm getting ready and prepared for what all of you are going to have to experience.
My goodness. Wow. Do you think someone like that, have you ever seen people get out of those situations?
Oh, 100%. And
Yeah.
those are beautiful stories. And there's always one commonality that I've found for the ones that are truly successful, and they found God.
Right.
That was
Amazing.
always it, is they have a true belief and just a love, and you can see the gratitude in their eyes for what God has done to revamp their life. And so a lot of the ends of the Dregs of the Cities episodes are just these prior homeless people, or even current, that are going through that transformation, and they just rant about their love of God.
Love that.
It's beautiful.
How do they find God? Can you like think of one instance? Was it like a Bible they found?
Yeah, well, it's fascinating because if you think about the people that are doing the outreach to the homeless,
Yeah.
you know, you have a lot of people from churches and things like that,
For sure.
you know, and they'll be like, hey, can I pray on you? Stuff like that. And a lot of times the homeless people are just like, just give me the free stuff and go,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
but it's like if they kind of sit there and they're like, and they kind of like take it in and things like that and absorb it. It's beautiful stuff that I've seen happen.
That's great.
It's
I
just
mean,
amazing.
God can transform your life. you know,
Yeah,
from
and that's the
those
most
situations.
incredible example. And I think people find God the most when they're at their lowest.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
100%. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have to be at your lowest, but I think the people who do feel it in such a deep way know how low it can go. You know,
Yeah.
and how high God can take you
Yeah.
from out of those situations.
Yeah.
Because it's bad, you know, all the addiction, just the way of their lives, the way that these people are sleeping in tunnels, they're sleeping on the streets, they're battling the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good life.
Yeah,
It's
they're
crazy.
battling ghosts that
Ghosts.
are in the tunnels. It's just
It's wild.
Yeah.
What were some of the other cities outside of like Vegas that you've gone to? Like I guess in the past 2 years. Why I asked you earlier about how long you've been doing this is something I've noticed in my travels across the country is pre-COVID, post-COVID,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
post-COVID, I've seen homeless spike.
Oh, you're so right about that.
insane.
Yeah. Well, and it's a combination of a couple things. It's also the drugs that are coming out too, and
Yeah.
this also ties to Sin Frontera, the documentary, where the cartels are now mixing these drugs that are they're designed to kill.
That's insane.
When I'm talking to the DEA guys, this new stuff, it's not just fentanyl. It's a mixture of like 7 or 8 different drugs, research chemicals. China's providing the chemical precursors. Cartels are cooking it, partnered with the criminal agencies. And then you go out onto the streets and I see it. The same little blue pill that I saw at the border when we're catching smugglers is being smoked up by a homeless guy in Seattle. All the way up there. I went to Vancouver. They said it's the same drugs.
Wow.
The cartel's moving drugs through the United States all the way into Canada.
Wow.
And it's just tearing these people
Is
apart.
it, so it's like, is their main goal is, because it used to be drugs are always bad, but they wanted you to be hooked and almost to the point of death so you can come back and return customers. But now it seems like it's just make a ton of money, send it out there. They don't care what happens, or do they care? Are they really trying to take lives?
That's what doesn't make sense to me, because the economics behind it doesn't make sense because it's
Right.
so cheap now.
Right.
And then people are dying so quickly and easily. It doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense to me is that it's drug warfare designed to basically eliminate an entire generation. And if you look at who's dying, it's mostly young men.
Yep.
And there's been more young men that died in the last year of fentanyl and other drugs than the entire Vietnam War death rate.
That's insane,
And we're
dude.
just quiet about it. And it's
Yeah.
like, and when people are like, yeah, why is there so many ghosts? Why is there so many dead bodies on the streets? It's like, this is why.
Wow.
I think
people are
people
dying.
are refusing to shatter the illusion that we're not in a dystopia.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
love this country, and
Me
I'm
too.
very, very blessed to be alive. I have a family. I love it. Life is beautiful, but like people have this luxury of buying into the illusion that we're not in a dystopia. And look, the stuff you're seeing is for sure like you're seeing hell on
Oh,
Earth. That is
yeah.
hell on Earth. That stuff is nuts. But like just the amount of fentanyl deaths that happened during lockdowns and how lockdowns affected isolation,
Yes.
depression, fentanyl use.
Yeah.
It's bananas. You know, I really like I care deeply about these kids. A lot of them kids, they think they're getting something else. They shouldn't be doing any of it for sure. But I was in Arizona for some like it was like a Carrie Lake campaign. She was announcing she was running for whatever it was, senator or something. She brought all these parents on stage who had lost children to fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and some of those kids were just given an Advil. You know, like you can't trust a thing. You know, Prince died with fentanyl.
Oh, really?
He was
I didn't
given a
know that.
painkiller. He had a surgery or something. I don't think he was someone to do drugs. I could be wrong. He was like a Jehovah's Witness and wasn't. I think he was on the painkillers. Someone gave him a fentanyl-laced painkiller, and that's what took him out.
Wow.
So like, no one's safe from this stuff, and that's years ago.
Yeah,
And now
no
you're
one's
talking
safe.
about it. It's flooding everywhere.
Yeah. Well, it used to be when I would grow up, you could kind of test out drugs and have a good time.
Right.
You can't do that anymore.
Oh, yeah, no way.
You know,
No
that was
way.
one story that I covered. It was a short documentary about this high school kid who thought he was doing a line of cocaine and he ended up dead.
Wow.
You know, and I interviewed all of the friends and family that were involved, and the ripple effect that has is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't think about that. You know, it's the ripple effect of how that affects people's lives. Now they want to get high because
Right.
they're depressed, you
Right.
know, and it's like,
It's a domino effect.
Domino effect.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's really bad, and that's the case. I mean that the domino effect there is nothing new, but now that it's been weaponized, so like clearly, like it feels as if China or other countries are actively trying, like you said, to wage war on generations of Americans. You know, that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, the border was such a mess, and in large part because of the fentanyl pouring across it.
Big time. I mean, even the tariffs now,
Right.
a lot of that is Trump saying, hey, you need to stop sending precursor chemicals or I'm going to up the tariffs more, you know?
It's insane, dude. I don't know how they stop it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know how they stop it. Well, I want to get into more with you, but maybe we should try a caller
Yeah,
if we have
let's
any
do that.
lined up, and we'll come back.
While I'm pulling up callers, we also had a couple of super chats.
Sweet.
So let's go ahead and read through
Thanks,
those.
guys.
The first, LJG, brother, love, hearts, baby oil. Okay. Also from Stoned Mason.
This is not a Diddy
Well,
podcast. Well, we have talked about
sometimes
Diddy.
it
Yeah.
has been
I guess there
before.
has been some episodes.
Hey, what do you think of JFK Jr.? In my opinion, had he not died, it would have been him versus Obama in 2008 or 2012. That's from Stoned Mason.
Yeah, I mean, he was a promising young chap, but the Kennedy empire is tough to get behind. I don't know. Like, I really appreciate RFK Jr. and what he's done with Maha, although Maha is kind of under attack right now as well with all the Moderna, Pfizer stories coming out, and they've approved shots for 6-month-olds, which is
Wow.
crazy. But yeah, JFK Jr., I think they took that guy out.
Oh, I think 100%. I think Stoned Mason, hilarious name, is right.
Yeah.
Because I think he would win. You know,
Right.
it's such a famous family, it's royalty of the United States.
Could you imagine? And he was, I mean, the theories are he was taken out by another royalty of America. Who knows? But it is suspicious. A lot of these weird plane crashes happening. It's very unfortunate. That family, I don't want to say they're cursed, but my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, RFK Jr., obviously JFK.
Let's go.
Hello.
What's up? Who do we got?
Let's go.
Oh, nice.
I've been waiting.
What's up?
Dude. Okay, first off, sent you yesterday. Temple was on the Lawrence Southern list. I'm taking a little piece from you because, dude, when you said the IRS is days away from having a nuclear weapon, I'm like, I love it. I love it.
Thank
Your
you.
tweets, dude, or your like, it's just gas.
It's not me. I have 100,000 Indians working.
You're working with AI.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
that's
Shane
cool,
doesn't work
bro.
with AI.
Yeah, AI
That's
demons,
cool,
dude.
AI, write your tweets. All right. Well, I'm gonna quote you on that one.
Well, I appreciate that,
Dude.
man. Thank
Where
you.
do I start? I got a list. I got a long list.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh shoot.
Enough with the lists.
Nice.
forgot the list.
Population control. What are we doing here? Hold on. Let me,
Yeah.
Just
I'm
read
a
off
mixed
your
bag.
list. And
No,
we'll
I'm from Oakdale, California. Have you ever heard of that?
Haven't been, but I heard about it.
Cowboy capital of the world, so they say.
Interesting. Why?
Yeah.
Why? A lot of
well-
cowboys?
Lake Comanche's there, so
Okay.
I don't know. The Comanche Indians are there. That's a story.
Interesting.
But talk about UFO experiences. So I'm a locomotive engineer. I drive trains. That's a fancy way to say I drive trains. But I work in the Bay Area for BART and drive towards Lawrence Livermore Lab. Have you ever heard of that?
No. Tell us
Lawrence
about it.
Livermore Weapons Lab supposedly has the largest laser weapon, I guess, in the world. I don't know.
Well, I don't like that one bit. What are they doing
Yeah.
with that?
And driving to work one day, see this green light above the lab, and then it just disappears. And I call my buddy, my conductor, he was working on the same train as me. And I was like, dude, please tell me you saw that. And he's like, I'm so glad you saw that because nobody would believe me.
Right.
Interesting. Don't know.
How long did it last?
I mean, the light was there for maybe a few minutes, and then just, like I said, it was like light speed. Just you see it just disappear and just gone.
And what time did you say? What time of day it was?
It was about 3 a.m. You know, high peak commuter traffic, which is weird because the Altamont. So I live in the Valley, which is and you got to commute over the Altamont to go into the Bay Area, which is most people in this area live, and so it's very interesting. Like a lot of people that I grew up with, their parents worked at the lab, and now people that I grew up with work at the lab, but they've disappeared on social media and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm just saying.
Getting scrubbed off the internet because they're building giant lasers.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I looked it up online. I mean, there's different missile projects that they've been involved with at Lawrence Livermore Labs. It's very interesting. But
What are the theories about the laser out there?
it's just the largest laser that they have that they can just shoot shit out of the sky. I guess I don't know.
Like missiles and stuff.
Yeah, like this is a defense laser, or are they?
Yeah, it's a
shooting
defense. It's
fake moon?
Lawrence Livermore Defense Lab is what I was known growing up, and then they shut down pre-COVID, and then they reopened, I believe, right before or after. Someone had to fact check me on that, but yeah, so very interesting.
Yeah. It is.
I'd like to, I got a lot to say, but rest in peace, John MacArthur, man. John MacArthur, big theologian, one of the great theologians
Yes.
in this world, and he was supposed to be there. He was on his way to meet Martin Luther King the day that Martin Luther King was assassinated. That's my next deep dive.
I had no idea.
Is to look into that. Very interesting story. But he's a great theologian, and I really appreciate his work. He stood on business for sure.
Oh yeah, dude. I have his study Bible. It's incredible.
Yeah, so that's how I became a Christian. So I killed a kid. I killed a kid in 2017 driving a train, and my conductor, which we really talked too much, and he gave me a study Bible. He gave me a John MacArthur study Bible.
Wow.
And so then I was raised Catholic, and he gave me the John MacArthur study Bible, started reading it, started learning it, then ultimately ended up going to church with him, and that's when I was saved.
I love it.
But yeah, there's a lot more to that, but ultimately I emailed you because I have to say it, long time listener, first time caller.
It's awesome. Thank you. Love hearing that.
But I emailed you about dreams,
Remind me.
and I was very vague. I wish I would have been more in detail because I think you would have noticed it maybe.
Well, tell us about it.
And so my dad died in 2020, not because of COVID, it was a congestive heart failure. And for a year, my dad, like I would dream about him, but he would just be there like as a presence, right? Like he'd be next to me. He wouldn't, I would never see his face, which is very interesting, you know. And the day before, or the night, so the night before his 1 year anniversary, I saw his face and he said, "I'm okay."
Wow.
Which was very weird. And then I shared my story with my mother just this year for the first time, and I told her that I was trying to get on your podcast because I wanted to talk about this, and I'm not bullshitting. And she was like, "That's crazy," because she's like, "I still haven't seen your father's face, and my dad died 5 years ago."
Wow.
And so, like, I found Timcast, you know, years ago, or when like 2020, whatever, and love Sam Tripoli, big Sam Tripoli guy, and Temple Hat, and he had a guy on that was talking about like where do we go when we sleep, right? Are we in like an alternate universe? Like where are we, right? Like we pass out and then we wake up hours later. Like where are we? What does a dream mean? And you believe in dimensions, but then it's like also like my dad wasn't really from the last conversation I had with my dad when I became a Christian, because my dad was a Catholic, was he just said, "Look, I made a deal." My dad was a cop, which is another, like I can go down that because he worked on the Speed Freak killers, the Speed Freak killer case, which was it was a big mass murder.
Oh wow.
These two guys, they were only convicted of 3 murders, but they found the remains. One of the guys committed suicide, but the other one wanted like $30,000 and was giving up the location of the bodies. And they found the remains of 72 humans.
Oh man.
Here in Linden, California, home of Aaron Judge. I don't know if any Yankees fans out there, but you go through that town and there's just a big sign for Aaron Judge. But
that's a lot.
So it's like, so as a Christian, you believe in, you know, it's like, I get that there's 12th hour Christians that, you know, at the hour of their death, you know, it's like the thief on the cross that repented and gave himself. But yeah, I'm just curious to hear your thoughts and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, on like dreams and where we go.
Yeah.
Man, I
That's
mean,
a great question.
I think about it a lot. 'Cause
Me too,
They bug me out. Like, what do you think?
Man, well,
They bug me out because it's like, I mean, I've had dreams of like my wife cheating on me, or my wife not wanting to be with me anymore, or like I'm like I said, I'm a locomotive engineer, so I get drug tested maybe once or twice a month. It just depends. And like I've had dreams of like smoking weed, and like I wake up and I'm just like, holy shit, I'm getting fired. You know, like I just don't know.
Right. Kev's, you have some thoughts on dreams?
Yeah, I mean, I have some thoughts on dreams for sure. Because biblically, if you look at what's happened in the Bible with dreams, it's continuous. You know, there's Daniel, he's trying to interpret Nebuchadnezzar's dreams. There's a power behind dreams. And there's that Dune quote too. I think it's like, dreams are a message from the deep.
Oh yeah,
Or something like that. It's such a great term. I think it's a great way to say that it's like when we're dreaming, we have a closer connection maybe to the spirit world.
Yeah.
And maybe there's things communicated from the spirit world during that time period that I think we've lost touch on. We've just decided that it's just figments of our imagination, but there's deep meaning, I think, behind some of these dreams. Maybe not ones of your wife cheating and things like that. I mean, right. I've had like, feverish type dreams too, but some of them, I think there's a true meaning behind it. And it's not just biblical, it's throughout, all different traditions.
And with Nebuchadnezzar's writing, that was like the writing on the wall, right? With Mene, Tekel, Parson, I think is what they had on the wall for Nebuchadnezzar, which is like the end is coming for you.
Yeah.
But dreams, who was the one that Pharaoh had interpret?
There was Pharaoh with the Joseph, yeah.
Yeah, Joseph and he was able to interpret dreams. They're very important in the Bible. I think dreams should be taken seriously. It's like they've become like memeified, into oblivion. Where I don't want to hear your dream. I'm tuning out when I hear dreams. But I think they're actually really interesting. They could be multiple things. They could be like a portal to some bigger truth, whether it's like a portal of some sort of premonition or a portal to your own psyche, whether it's, the wife cheating on you, it might not be an exact thing, but I think sometimes it's some sort of reflection of something going on inside of us.
Well, that was just an example.
Right.
I mean,
But,
I'm not, I know my wife and I trust my wife. It's not that. It's
right.
just.
But I'm saying like I have dreams like that too, where they're just completely out of what would happen in my reality. But I'm always curious why I'm having those dreams. Like, is it something my subconscious just kind of swept up throughout the day and is now recreating? Was it something I read? Is it something else? Is it a fear? I know when I was younger, I had recurring dreams all the time, and they were like scary, crazy dreams.
Yeah.
And I was like, what does that mean? Is that coming for me in the future? I don't know, but I think they're fascinating, and I think they're worth studying. I think sometimes certain dreams and certain people, they can be paralyzed by their dreams, and
for sure.
they don't know what to do with them. They interpret them, I guess, too literally, and they literally become like agoraphobic. But I think they're interesting, like almost like kaleidoscopic interpretations of whatever's going on in our big skulls. I don't know where we go. Like, some people would say it's divine. Other people would say it's some sort of, not the astral plane, but some sort of astral plane that we're just going to, dipping into the collective consciousness.
Someone says dreams are a manifestation of our subconscious thoughts.
It's that too. It's like it's telling us something. It's almost like what we were talking about talking to schizophrenics. They don't make sense because they look like poems or something abstract to us.
Yeah.
But I think there is some sort of deeper kernel of truth in them.
Just like with dreams.
Exactly. I like to hear about dreams. I don't discount them. I think there's something important to them.
This is something too, and people think I'm weird for this, but like I'll actually go in and when I worked at different places, it would be the morning people are like, "Hey, how are you doing today?" I'm like, "Good. What did you dream about?"
That's awesome. How do I take that?
People, I recommend people do it because then people start thinking and they're like, "Huh." It's fun to ask.
I don't know. I think people don't really like to hear about dreams so much.
I think they've been conditioned not to.
Yeah.
I think they're interesting. Writing is obviously very important to me. Mm-hmm. My writing literally started out of me having a dream log when I was like really young. because I was very curious about what the heck is this happening in
Yeah.
my dreams.
I actually like to go to sleep to dream. I'm
Yeah.
like, because it's like a story. It's like a movie.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what is it going to be this time? You
right.
know?
Do you lucid dream ever?
All the time.
Really?
I do all kinds of dreams. I mean, I don't really ever see myself in a Chris does that, my husband. He always, there's a lot of times he'll be like, oh, I'm dreaming. I have to wake myself up. I'm like, how do you do that?
Right.
And I get like really involved in my dreams. Like I'm there. Like
I've
I'm
never
totally
had
in a
that.
different world. And I'll just wake up and I'm like, wait, I have to like refocus where I am. But I can never pull myself out of a dream.
Right. Yeah, I haven't had that. I like being visited by the dead, like what you were saying with your father. You know, even I haven't had like the faceless type, but I have been visited by my grandfather in a dream, and he's someone I've had my only real what I think would be like a ghost story when the story happened with me and my grandma's house and the ceiling fan going on, the buttons being pressed, and I watching it go down. It was right after his funeral, and I'm like, this has got to be my grandfather. But he has visited me, and it's always like, it's great. Like, oh, what's up?
Yep.
How you doing? I'm fine.
Yeah, but I, you know, it's like I tried to understand it as like I had like the MK Ultra stuff and you know being brainwashed or however it may be in these phones and whatever we do and you know, but then also bringing faith into it to where it's just like, okay, my dad was Catholic, and so it's like, is he stuck in purgatory because we didn't call in the nuns? You know, we didn't pay the money to get him out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would like to think not. I mean, as Christians, I don't believe in purgatory, right? Okay, I think that's just a Catholic thing.
It's a Catholic thing, which you know, I'm not theologian or I'm not smart enough to argue it, but just trying to understand like where we go, what we do, you know, because I feel like as humans we're kind of stuck in the matrix. Like, why do we have to? Most people that work, why do we have to work 5 days to get 2 days off? I mean, it kind of sucks.
Totally. I know. We're trapped in a weird routine that's anti-dream.
Well,
I'm curious
we
how that
jump
affects
in
me.
these metal objects and we fly around and time travel essentially. Like if you told our great grandfathers, you know, what we were doing, it's like we're time traveling through this space to go and make money. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah, and we can time travel in our phones too.
Yeah.
I can go see Pantera play Russia in the early 90s.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Another point on dreams, I thought this was fascinating. This old Native American guy in a tribe told me that their thought on dreams was that that you as a person have multiple souls. And that their thought, the Native Americans, was that one soul stays in your body and kind of keeps it going to breathe and stuff like that. And then your other soul travels out and has these dream experiences and then comes back to your body later.
Wow.
As you know, there's a lot of different ideas and traditions and thoughts.
Yeah, it's a great thought. I mean,
no, I haven't heard that. That's
me
amazing.
neither. And maybe also dreams are a closer connection to the afterlife. You know, maybe that's why people are visited by the dead. I mean, there's something very odd that we all just fall asleep for hours and it's like a fake death every night.
Well, when you see about was it DMT and the burning bush and you know that when we die that comes through and so we might be hallucinating or enter another realm and I like all different sides of everything and I just try to make sense of it but enjoy this life.
Yeah. When I'm going to try to get this right, I want to get it in my head first. When Grace to You put out that John MacArthur died, they said his faith became sight. And I really love that line. I love that line.
That was beautiful.
Isn't that so good?
Wow.
I read it to my kids the morning that they put it out. I was like, this is incredible. Talk about what that line means. And maybe there's something in there about dreams too, you know, about just like, all this is preparation, right, for whatever's next.
Wow.
So something abstract that we believe in, it's abstract, but we believe in it, right, becomes right there before our very eyes. So
amazing.
Well,
I listened to his last words that were spoken on camera, and he talked about, you know, walking down the final trail, and he kind of knew, which is just like, you know, as Christians, we should be wanting to die, but willing to live for his His glory.
Amen
Well
to that.
put, man. Well put. Well, thank you so much for calling in. It was great having you. I'm sorry I missed the emails in the first place, but I'm glad we got to talk about them now.
No, we're good. I mean, like I said, long time listener, and I appreciate your what you guys are putting out, and I'll definitely be calling back.
Awesome. Please do. Yeah, please do, because I want to hear more about the speed free killer stuff.
Oh wow, yeah, look into that. It's wild.
Yeah, sounds like it. Awesome.
Yeah, you guys take care.
You too.
Have
God
sweet
bless.
dreams.
Keep conducting on.
Yeah, that's right, man. So many good aspects of that story. We started off with lasers in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to John MacArthur. That's amazing. That's what I love callers. Like,
No,
dude,
it's
you
the
know what it's
best.
like. You talk to people, you interview people. It's
Yeah.
the best.
Oh, and I love it. The dream question too is
Yeah.
just
It's
because
incredible.
it's one of the best parts about being a human.
Yeah,
in my
right,
opinion.
Right.
You know?
It's the mystery of it.
Yeah.
Even though you have your faith, it's still mysterious.
100%.
It's unbelievable.
And it involves the faith too. But yeah.
Yep. So let's, before we get to another caller,
Okay.
guys, this is a strange night because we finally have a person in the room. We don't always have a person in the room. We
No,
caught
we
it.
have Bigfoot in the
We
room.
caught a Nordic. We're gonna be abducted after this.
It only took him 2 steps to get from the IRL studio to
Maybe
here.
our commute home will be faster because he's got a saucer. But I want to hear more about what you saw. I want to hear these crazy decapitations. Like,
Oh, yeah.
What? So how did this come about? Were you seeing the news and then you said I could do this film in 3 months, and you just found a place and went?
It was a combination of things. So it was fascinating because originally how I found out about it, there's these family members that are all throughout these border towns in Mexico. So Reynosa, Juarez, all up and down there. And they go trying to look for their missing children or family members. And so they dig up these dead bodies to try and find their missing relatives. And it's just sad to see because you're with them, and the passion that they have to find this dead body is so, because to them it's like they haven't had closure, and finding the body is a really important closure to them. And so they're just every day going out here digging out there, and they're finding just body after body after body. And what they'll do is, because a lot of these are burnt bodies and things like that, they'll bring it to the Mexican government, but since they're in league with the cartels,
Yes.
they just don't do anything about it. And so these families are just left alone with this. But when you're thinking, it's like, why is this happening in the first place? One of these mass grave sites we went to had a huge mural that had 666 next to it.
Whoa.
And so I started to ask people about Satanism and Santa Muerta, this saint of death that these cartel members worship, and literally human sacrifice gives them miracles, as they call it.
Wow.
And so it's like these migrants, they'll come on these long journeys. And, I was talking to migrants that were going through the Darien jungle in Panama, and they have this American dream to make this American dream happen. And then they travel through Mexico and get human sacrificed by a cartel member, among other things. It could be labor trafficked,
Do they
trafficked.
get abducted by them? Are they
Yeah.
are they looking to be helped with getting across the border and then they get sacrificed?
Yeah. And so a lot of it is, of course they're paying for coyotes to
Yeah.
help them get across the border. And a lot of times they don't have the money to pay for these coyotes. And so they'll be indebted. And to show, to kind of, and this is one of the stories, it's a brutal story, but a friend of mine was embedded with the cartels. And what they did is this group of migrants that were trying to cross the border, and to really show how serious they were about the debt payment. And they said, once you go to the United States, you need to pay us back, because this is what will happen to you if you don't. They took one of the migrants' babies, put it in a microwave, and turned it on.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the kind of brutality that these guys are doing over there. And they're just numb to it at this point.
And they have people over here to make sure that they're paid, I assume.
Yeah. Well, and they're in league with the criminal elements that are in the United States. So when you think about the gangs and things that are selling these drugs inside the United States, who are they getting it from?
Right.
The cartels. And so all of this is interconnected and working together. And then a lot of this taxpayer money, when they go to blue cities and they're getting these cash benefits, it's going straight back to the cartels.
Of course.
To pay that
Of
debt.
course.
Because they don't want their family to die.
So the Satan aspect, I think, is very real. Something I used to downplay. I used to think, oh, satanic panic. I think it was very real looking back now.
Yeah.
I think the news might have overblown it maybe on purpose. But I do think there are large aspects of Satanism controlling death and power all over the world. And then when you were talking about the way they see miracles coming out, they have to do the death, right? Is that what you said? The death helps them bring about a miracle?
Yeah, exactly. That worship and sacrifice brings about miracles in their life, riches, whatever they're asking for.
So maybe that's the answer to the fentanyl issue. Like, maybe making death is their way of, it's like almost a religion, right?
Oh, 100%. And they also have this Saint Jesus Malverde, which is the saint of drug trafficking.
No.
Yeah, no joke.
What?
So as they're trafficking drugs, they're giving praise and honor to this saint. It's almost like their version of prayer is trafficking drugs and killing people because that's giving praise to Santa Muerta and Jesus Malverde.
Wow. Are these the type of cartels that are taking the kids in really young and making them do death?
Yes.
Like they have to kill very early on, right?
Exactly.
Do you see any of that stuff?
Well, I talked to people that had their relatives taken by the cartels to be used in that system. And, it's just brutal because it's almost like you're morphing this child's soul. Because I believe like when you're a child, that's your closest you're going to be to heaven.
Yeah.
Because maybe you just came out of it. And so now they're corrupting this child's soul to be this criminal.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's crazy what they do because you can corrupt them. Because if you think about it, when you're a child, you're looking up to someone. And who do you have to look up to? It's these guys with the machismo, these cartel members they have these miracles that are happening for them. They're getting extremely rich. They're getting women.
They run the country.
They're running the whole dang Mexico.
Right.
They're making more money than entire countries. The cartels are. And so to them, it's like maybe they're on to something. But the thing is your lifespan's so short. You might join at 15 and die at 27, but you're rich and had women and you were high the whole time.
Right. Right.
But is that the life you want?
I mean, I guess they'd be conditioned to wanting that life.
Exactly.
Even like 27 might sound old to some of them. I mean, the way they go through death down there, it's so bad. So Mexico's very Catholic, right?
That's true.
So there's a lot of, I'd imagine a lot of these people were Catholic and then they somehow get wrapped up in, are they actually satanic or is it more of just like a thing they put on for fear?
Well, I talked to a priest that was down there, a Catholic priest, because you're right, there is a large Catholic contingent. And they said what Santa Muerta is, they've come to the conclusion it's a satanic cult.
Oh, wow.
That's their conclusion. And to me, it's the same thing because they're taking like the Mary figure, Mother Mary. But then if you look at images of Santa Muerta, it's just the skull version of that. So it's everything, how she's adorned, the beautiful dress, the flowers, but then a skull inside of it. So they're repurposing Catholic imagery, and that's classic Satanism. You twist what God has created.
Yep.
And so, that's what they're doing. It's very dark.
Wow.
Very dark. And that's coming into the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Because people aren't thinking about that. These cartel members, these people that believe this, are bringing that into the United States. And I show some of that in the Sin Frontera documentary that's coming out on Monday, where it's like, you can see, even I added a clip from the DEA museum, where when they catch these smugglers, they'll have Santa Muerta statues and things like that inside the back of the car where they actually put the drugs inside of the statue for protection and things like that. It is incredible.
And they're known for human sacrifice down there. I mean, I've been to the temples.
Well, and this was the crazy thing too, is I started to research it, and it has ties all the way back to the Aztecs and the human sacrifice that they were doing there. So when I was in Mexico City, they were doing those same rituals right next to the Aztec ruins in the middle of Mexico City, where they had the skull headdresses. They're dancing around doing that whole thing. You think they aren't doing the sacrificing portion of it as well? They are.
Do you think that sort of thing is going to become more prevalent here?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Are you seeing that at the border, like on our side?
It's still, see, the thing is it's brackish waters right now at the border.
Yeah.
When you're looking at it, there's really, especially before Trump, the last 4 years, it was a complete mixture where the cartel owned a lot of the properties all up and down the border. And it was those same people that sometimes were, living in both places. They would have properties in both places. So it's like north or south of the border, you're seeing the same stuff happening.
Right.
But yeah, it was crazy because I was working with some of the guys like Jason Jones, who first designated the cartels as terrorist organizations, and he was showing me drone footage of these cartel members worshiping these Santa Muerta statues, and I was like, it's probably just like one cartel doing some weird stuff,
Right.
and then it's like, no, as I'm talking to these families, it's like, this is what these cartels are worshiping.
Wow.
This is what they believe, and they're fervent about it. They're more fervent than a Christian in the United States.
Did you find like the origin to the satanic cults, like when it started or how it started?
Yeah, so, like I said, it has ties to that indigenous culture with the Aztecs and things like that.
Right.
And when you look at the history, I was reading some of the journals of the conquistadors when they first came in, because these conquistadors are using the same trails and pathways through the Darien and Central America that the migrants are using today.
Wow.
So you can use these ancient maps to find out where the migrants are. But what they were finding is, when I read these journals from these conquistadors, they were amazed by the brilliance of the people, how kind they were. But then they took them to the temple and they saw these snake statues and things like that. And then suddenly they're, bad vibes are starting, and, hearts are getting pulled out of children.
Yeah,
and
the paintings are nuts.
and they're
You can
rolling them
look
down.
up the paintings. So like, but do you think the drug cartels actually have that lineage?
100%.
And like that they've kind of evolved from that, or are the drug cartels more of like we sprouted up in the 60s, 70s and are latching on to the things of the past?
Yeah, they're definitely adopting some of the things in the past, but they've got the genes in them. They've got the
Right.
family history, and it was Quetzalcoatl, the snake god that they were
Yeah.
worshiping back then,
Right.
and now today it's just kind of evolving over time. And obviously there's more of a Catholic influence, because when the conquistadors came in, what they did to try to squash that spiritual energy was build churches on top of the pyramids and the different places where they do this sacrifice.
Wow.
So it's fascinating. If you go into Mexico and these different places in Central and South America, if you go into the basement of the churches, you could sometimes still go into the old pyramid complexes where human
That's
sacrifice was happening.
That's wild. And we do it here. We're like, just like what you were saying with the conquistadors, saying, oh, they're so nice. I think we're still barbaric today over here, but but we have like Planned Parenthoods and it's like other types of
Exactly.
human sacrifice. It's just in like nice looking buildings and people have cars and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're just as barbaric as we've always been.
Well, yeah, and I've been thinking about human sacrifice more now because of this. And I almost look at like things like the Ukraine war as a giant human sacrifice.
That's it.
And some of the things like abortion and stuff like that. You look at Moloch,
Yes.
where you're sacrificing to the demon god Moloch.
Yep.
And what are they doing? What are they aborting the child for? It's for the god of themselves, so that they can have a better life. They can have a career, so they don't have to take care of the child and this or that.
And that's the inversion of like Christianity, where you're supposed
sacrifice.
to be unshackled from the material world, right? But
Yes.
yeah, sacrifice yourself for your people, for your loved ones, but also you're not here for this world, right? You're here for the afterlife.
Yeah.
You're here for eternal life.
Yeah.
And those cults want you. That's why the satanic cults in Mexico and South America are so attached to gods, false gods that are all about money, trafficking, drugs, all that stuff. And the satanic stuff, I mean, we've had here for a while. Is it Matthew Aquino? Have you?
Oh, I've heard that name.
Can you pull them up really quick, and we'll go to another caller, and then I want to talk more about this. But this is just a quick aside in terms of satanic people in our country at weird levels. I think it's Matthew Aquino. It's worth just looking at a picture of him really quick.
Creepy looking guy.
Yeah. Oh, it's not Matthew Aquino. Sorry, that's a soccer player.
Yeah, Filipino Japanese.
not that guy. Michael Aquino. Aquino. I just want people to see this person. Go to his Wikipedia page. Pull up his picture.
Okay.
This was a
Look
Satanist.
at the eyebrows on this one.
This was a Satanist. Let's see what he's wearing.
Okay, give me a sec here.
He
This
was
guy?
in the military.
Oh, what?
He was in the military.
Look at this guy.
Allegations of mass child abuse.
Of course.
He was. I don't think he was actually found guilty. He had some sort of weird alibi, but this guy's story is crazy.
Whoa.
He was part of Church of Satan. I think he started his own Church of Set. This is a
like
rabbit
the
hole for a
Egyptian
different day.
god?
Yes, dude, this is crazy stuff, and this is like, talking about how it is over here, because the satanic cults. I think they look like, do do they when you see them in public, are you like, that's a satanic cult, or
Yeah.
they dress nicely?
Well, and that's the thing too, is like a lot of times you'll meet somebody that's a Satanist and it's like they're very nicely
Wait.
dressed, very
Yeah.
successful.
His wife's name is Lilith,
Oh, no way.
which means
course.
female devil.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Very famous.
But like
demon.
this is you're like, we're talking about what you were saying, the lineage of Satanism and human sacrifice with the cartels and stuff. I think this is a worldwide fall of man. We are dealing with an ancient strain of evil we can't get rid of.
Ancient is the right way to say
Yeah.
it, because I started to nerd out on this stuff because I was
Yeah.
fascinated, like, where did it come from prior to the Aztecs? You know, where did it come from prior to that? And it gave me ties to pre-flood civilization.
Oh yeah.
So the days of Noah and that kind of stuff. And when you look at there's in Turkey, they have that super old, I think it's like 12,000 years ago, that they found these ancient sites. And one of them was a snake head that looks just like Quetzalcoatl, but it's in Turkey.
Wow.
And it was connected to a bath. And they assumed that it was bloodletting, so that the blood would flow out of the mouth of the snake, and then the person would bathe in blood.
Yep.
And it was a ritual sacrifice area. And it's like, so was this a shared religion that was worldwide at that time, you know? And was that why the flood came?
Yeah, I mean, the flood was lots of things. The Nephilim, fallen angels hooking up with the earthly women. But I think that evil is just widespread. They might not even know of each other, right? Because it's like different continents, but the evil makes them have the same bloodlust.
It could be.
It's terrifying stuff because it's happening right now. You know, like we talk about the Epstein story, child trafficking.
Exactly.
You can go look up the Franklin story. That's insane. You know, these are people at high levels of authority. The Franklin story was with Omaha. There was state trooper, I think it was a state trooper was involved. A lot of people, big bank. These things unfortunately happen. That's why I think a lot of people have a hard time with the Epstein story because they don't want to face it.
Yeah.
You know, like you're facing crazy stuff in what you're doing. You're watching horrible things. I've had the experience. I'm talking about like catching pedophiles and, coming home. It's like, I want to talk to my wife about it, but also like no one wants to hear it. But it's also like, I need people to understand this is going on everywhere.
Yeah,
it's evil.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I did pedophile catching too. Do you know Alex Rosen?
That's what I did it with.
Oh, I did it with
Yeah.
Alex Rosen
Sick.
too. I made a documentary about a
Sick.
catch we did in
Shout
Tucson,
out to
Arizona.
Alex.
Yeah, no, check it out on my YouTube channel, 6'7" Kevin,
What's
Alex
the title?
Rosen.
Okay, cool.
And we do a catch in Tucson. But yeah, I feel you on that. And the
Yeah.
thing was that a part of this documentary as well, Sin Frontera, that's coming out on Rumble, is we went after the migrant children, the missing migrant children.
300,000
I think it's
allegedly.
more.
I think so too.
Yeah.
How do they know 300,000?
Yeah.
I think they were pouring over the border.
They were pouring over the border, and this is because of Obama-era laws. One of them
Yep.
was called DACA,
Yep.
which allowed for children to stay in the United States. So these migrants, they would just come to the border and drop the child off at the border. I met a 12 and 11-year-old that just walked over at Eagle Pass.
Mm.
And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, our parents sent us. I'm like, what?
Did they have a
how
number
old are
on
you?
them?
They had a little like thing,
Yep.
and everything written down for where they wanted to go and stuff
Yep.
like that. And Border Patrol takes them in, and then I figured out where they put the children. There are these Walmarts that were repurposed to house thousands of migrant children, and it was so creepy.
How many Walmarts could that possibly?
There was multiple Walmarts that were just It's in the documentary too. You'll see it. There's just playgrounds outside of a Walmart and everything. It's crazy. And I had one of the whistleblowers that worked there talk to me about it. The creepy part about this is that when these migrant children, they could stay in there for years in the Walmart until they find their sponsor. But who are these sponsors?
Right.
And that's what the whistleblower was telling me about, is he would drop these children off in the baggage claim, and they wouldn't even check up on who picked up the kid.
Dude, the optics of putting these kids in retail spaces
Yeah,
is
that
insane.
That alone, and then not even to think about where they end up.
I
And
know,
so
dude.
What we did
It's
in the
horrible.
documentary is we went door knocking on the addresses of these alleged sponsors of where the kids ended up, and it was just creepy because you could tell it seemed like these people just either sold the kid off because the kid would be there for like 1 or 2 days. They refer the kid as it and stuff like that, and there's just no care or attention to it. And when I was asking Tom Homan, like, how is it going finding the missing kids? He's like, it's a tough job because there's no trail on it. Like you and I, we have credit card transactions, we have pay
Yeah.
rent and all that kind of stuff. He's like, kids don't have a trail. And then for all of these years since the Obama DACA time, these sponsors were not properly vetted. So the addresses where these kids ended up, I went to them. The kids aren't there.
That's so.
So what do
insane,
you
dude.
do? You have nowhere else, no other leads because these people lie to you
Yep.
about where they went.
Just
You
into
know?
the ether.
Yeah.
So 300,000 or plus kids come here. They put them in a Walmart, but then they're not at the Walmart, and then they're nowhere. Is that what you're saying, essentially?
Basically, they wait at the
Basically.
Walmart for a certain amount of time, and then people come
Sometimes they're
saying they're the
sponsors.
sponsors.
Right.
Yep. It's so dark. I mean, I don't know how. Like my wife grew up in an orphanage, and people would come and take kids, and no one like they were sponsors, and that's the word they use. But like, there wasn't a lot of checking,
Yeah.
and that is widespread, and it's just what we're doing to innocence. It's like we're talking about the bloodlust and that
Yeah.
like evil strain. It's not just the blood bathing, literal flesh eating, satanic culture stuff. I think they actually like to feed off human suffering, and they prefer the suffering of children, which is where you get into the whole adrenochrome thing,
I've heard that.
which is wild. We did a whole episode on adrenochrome, both the conspiracy theories, but also the stuff based in like real studies on adrenochrome people have done. I think they feed off that stuff. And you see these stories like what you're talking about, 300,000 plus children. I mean, in this country alone, I'm going to get the names wrong. We just had 2 operations done this year. Let me see if I can find those names for people. I'm not going to find them. I've written
And
down
what is
somewhere.
the course of time? These kids, like when has it started? Is it still going?
It's still happening right now. The
Yep.
Trump administration shut down a couple of these Walmarts because they were raping the kids in the Walmarts.
So, but then kids are still coming. Where are they going?
Well, where they're going is to these quote unquote sponsors.
That has to stop.
It has to
like
stop.
they've
It
got to
has
get. I
stop.
hope they get that under control.
Yeah,
that is something
I-
that they really need to do.
And the thing is like, well, what do you do when all of these migrants drop off their kids in the United States? You have to put them somewhere.
Right.
They need to go somewhere. You can't just drop them back off in Mexico because that'll be even worse. The cartels will just
Right.
take them up there. And then the thing was too is that the cartels were partnering with the quote unquote sponsors, so that they would pay off the sponsor like, hey, we'll give you a couple grand if you say we'll take this kid, and we'll take the kid off your hands and do whatever we want.
Right.
And that's what was going on.
Man. Yeah, there were 2 operations this year. I'm forgetting the names. One might have been called Dragon Eye, but they've rescued like hundreds of kids from trafficking
Oh, that's
situations.
fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think one was in Texas, one was in Florida, but that's just 2, just in the past few months. 2
Yeah.
like these operations are happening all the time. Not enough. Like you've been with Alex. I was with Alex in Ohio, 3 days. We could have just not slept. We could have just kept doing it
for sure.
constantly
Yeah.
without sleeping. I couldn't believe. I mean, talk about binders. This guy Alex has a binder
Yeah.
of names of people, and we could just go to their house. That
Yeah.
he's been he's got his decoy and all this stuff.
Well,
And-
he's keeping Office Max in business by just
Yeah.
printing out all of the messages from these pedophiles.
Dude, he asked me to print something out for them because they were on the road, and I was at a hotel, and I had to ask the front desk if I could use the printer.
Oh no.
And I was like, and I really needed it because we had to go catch this guy.
Still
So
luck.
I walked her through it, but not like I didn't get graphic. She was just like, she said her husband was a cop, and she knows all about it. She's like, I'm not surprised. I was like, just don't look at it. I walked her through the whole thing. I'm writing a story, da da da. But it's these profiles, these people, and these insane things that they're saying to what they think is a kid.
Yeah.
And the
Dude,
stuff I
well-
have on audio from those is just like mind blowing.
Well, and the most mortifying thing is I would talk to these people that worked in these places that would move the kids around, and it's what it does to the child. They would say
Yeah.
some of these kids just don't even talk.
Right.
They're just completely like, it's almost like their personality splits
Right.
so they can deal with the trauma that they've gone
It's
through.
evil. It's so evil. I used to not use that word. Like before I had faith, evil to me was just a watered down word, but like it's the only word to use.
That's what's happening.
It's straight up evil, straight up demons. And a demon was definitely a word I never used. But looking at those people with Alex in these fields in Ohio that we'd walk him to, I had some pretty bad thoughts. Like I don't believe in taking someone's life, but like I
understand.
Couldn't help but think about it while standing in the field watching these people give us their BS.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alex and what he does.
Shout out to
wild.
This is the other thing too, and I know this sounds terrible, but when we were in Tucson and Alex and we caught this one pedophile that was there, we had to hang out with him for 8 hours because the police wouldn't show up. So we're sitting there and we get to talk to this guy for 8 hours.
Yep.
And this was the thing about making this documentary, Sin Frontera, was that everything is brackish waters. Everyone is good and everyone is bad. And we're all a mixture of both.
Yep.
Once again, the United States government, what they're doing at the border, some of it's good, some of it's bad. What USAID was doing with helping the migrants come through, some of it was good, some of it was bad. Even this pedophile I met, I saw beauty in him, but there's also the evil.
We had to spend a lot of time with a lot of these guys too. And when you're waiting for the cops to come, you're having these conversations. And for those who don't know, Alex is like live streaming all of this. So you can watch everything go on, but you're seeing, like, we were waiting in this one guy's house. I was outside of this house. I'm watching a live stream of this one, but they were out in this guy's house, and his wife is there, and now he has to explain to his wife why the cops are coming. But then they get into an argument about just normal stuff, about like the cleanliness of the house, and it's almost comedic. Yeah, you're forgetting why you're there and what this guy just told you 3 hours earlier. It's insane. Then like the next day we go to a guy's house and he's just, people were telling me, oh, you're going to catch a lot of lefties. There were some for sure, but it's just everybody, right? Everybody. And like one of these guys was a straight up MAGA type guy with the Constitution tattoo and firearms instructor, firefighter type guy. Like this evil stuff just infects people. It's a demonic presence that is in these people.
100%, and nobody's immune to it.
Yeah,
and
that's what's terrifying.
That's the terrifying thing. And I know Jordan Peterson said this before, but he's like, you have to understand the monster within each one of ourselves.
Right.
Each person has the capacity to do the most evil things you can imagine.
Yep.
I think he said, like Jordan Peterson said, everyone has a Hitler inside of them.
Yeah. And hopefully you suppress that. I think these people get the bad thoughts become them. They consume them.
Well, it's one thing to think it, another thing to act on it.
Well, yeah, and then these people it's their curiosity. They're going so deep into their fantasies and sin. What I noticed was these people were demonic and wanted the next crazy thing, and then it just spins out of control. Yeah, and now you're hearing stuff that like I wish I never heard.
Oh, it's a spiritual war. I really think, and each one of us is the battlefield.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally agree. Well, let's go to a caller.
Sure. I just want to read the super chat from Mosif Stalin 69. $10. Cha-ching. Thanks for another great show.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in.
Appreciate it.
Okay. And while we get to the other caller, you should shout out your channel and your documentary coming out again right now.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm 6'7" Kevin on YouTube, and you can see some of those homeless documentaries we talked about, the dregs of the city, Las Vegas, if you want to hear the ghost stories in the tunnel. And then the documentary I worked on here with Tim is Sin Frontera. It's coming out on Rumble Premium on Tim Pool's channel, and it'll be free for at 6 p.m. when it's live. After that, you need premium.
All right, awesome. I'm stoked for it. A little nervous, but I'm stoked.
It ends on some beautiful notes. So.
Good. I hope so. I hope so. But I really appreciate seeing good on the ground journalism.
Hello, Brandy Wine DC.
We're bankrupt of that stuff these days. Hello.
They've been waiting for a while.
Are you there?
Are you with us?
And sorry to Matthew Aquino, who was the Filipino-Japanese basketball player. I did not mean to say it was you. Don't come after me.
Who's the Satanist with the craziest eyebrows?
This guy does not have those same eyebrows.
Okay, I'm putting you back in the...
Hi, is it working?
Yes, it is.
Hello.
Oh, awesome. Sorry about that. I'm like really bad with technology.
It's all good. Me too. Same. I'm a caveman. I don't know how we're operating this room right now.
Me.
What's up?
No, I have like just like it's a little bit like alien, I think, and like supernatural from when I was a child, and I lived in Hampton, Virginia.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Okay, these are like probably I would say like 1984, 1985. because it was like before my little sister was born. But they're like things that I never could explain, but like the terror is still with me, even like I'm almost 50 now. But this was like before I even knew anything about aliens or UFOs. I had very strict religious parents that like watched Jimmy Swagger on TV back then. And so like even music, or like we weren't allowed to listen to certain music. But one night I'm in bed and I see this bright light out of my bedroom window, which faced the street. So it's kind of normal because the street lights were out there. But then all of a sudden there was like three things standing around my bed. So it was up against the wall, like on the side and behind me. So it was just like an L shape, to the right and then at the foot of my bed. And they were just standing there looking at me. And I'm like, what is happening? And they were like talking into like my mind. And they were like, it's okay. We just need to borrow your bones.
Ooh,
and I'm like, like, what?
I need those.
Like, what do you mean? They're like, we will bring them back to you. We need to borrow your bones. And then there's another like bright light. And I'm like, what is happening here? And then I look down and I do not have a rib cage and I'm freaking out, but I can't move. And I'm so scared that I can't say anything. And I'm just seeing my heart still pumping under my skin and my intestines like writhing under my skin. And I'm like paralyzed.
Whoa.
And,
Are you real?
and I, right. And I'm like, I think maybe like in kindergarten. And I do not know how I could have such a powerful imagination about this. And it's one of those things that has like stuck with me for so like long. And I did end up I told my dad about it maybe the next day because I could like talk to him about these things. And he had some experiences there. Oh man, my mom still to this day will not talk about living in that house because we all had some kind of a paranormal thing happen. But another thing that happened in the same bedroom, because I can remember the light. I can remember my bedspread, and the closet door was right beside the head of my bed, and it was cracked open. And I'm like, why is my door cracked open on my closet? But then I see like something glittering or like a light reflecting in there, and I'm like, I know there's nothing in my closet that would be reflecting a light. So I'm like, oh gosh, I'm freaking out again remembering this. I'm on the edge of my bed and I kind of peek into the closet, and then I fall down. The door swings open and something grabs my hand and is pulling me. And I am so scared that I jerk my hand. I try to shut the door. I get into bed. I pull the covers over me and I'm just shaking and I'm trying to say mommy, or I'm trying to say daddy. I'm trying to say something. I remember I was just so terrified that I could not speak. And those happened to me in my childhood, and I cannot explain if it was real, if it was a dream. All I know is I still feel the terror of that.
I'm sure.
I remember the horror of not having my rib cage and being able to move and seeing writhing. And then these things did come back and they did put my bones back. And like, that was it. But I have always had the weirdest problem on the right side of my rib cage. Like if I reach up too far, if I try to hug someone, it's just like this, always just this weird pain ever since then. And it's just like one of those things that has like literally, like, I think traumatized me and shaped my worldview. And this was in Hampton, Virginia.
So
like
I mean,
in the early 80s.
So it's interesting that you grew up with a strict religion and not exposed to a lot of strange stuff. So that makes the things you're experiencing, very odd. But what makes it even weirder is that your parents, you said, both had situations or experiences.
Oh yes. Oh man, yes. Like my dad, like my mom will not talk about it. She freaks out. Like she just checks out. Like because. Oh man, I could go on and on for just living in that house there in Hampton. And I even checked to see if it was still standing not too long ago on Google Street View.
Is it still there? Or did someone burn it down?
My sister is like working in Virginia Beach right now. But anyway, so I'm like, oh man, I wonder if it's still there. But it's just one of those terrible things. But my dad, he had like a waterbed, and sometimes like me and my brothers would like sneak into their room and like, because okay, we were really poor and we didn't have like TV back then, so like I don't know where I could have pictured the
Right.
aliens, like. So that's one of the things that I've always, every time I talk to like family, which I've never told friends about it, but here I am telling you guys, it's like, it is time. Okay. Yeah.
family.
And then
Yeah.
overcoming the technological issues I have. So I'm like,
Oh, you're
okay,
doing
I'm
great.
doing this.
You're doing great.
But I'm like, I wonder if someone else has had like their bones removed. But okay, with my dad, he thought we came in because we had always lay on the floor under it had like a ledge, but it was warm because it's a heated waterbed. And he said that he thought one of us had just was like, you know, trying to play in the waterbed, but something grabbed his hand too and was pulling him.
Whoa.
And this was like, you know, in his bedroom. And his, oh man, there's so many other stories.
do you
but
remember seeing it at all? Seeing the thing that grabbed you? Like, do you remember anything about it?
No. I just remember it. I remember it literally grabbing me and pulling me with such force. And it was like, you know, a really shallow closet. Just even me, like there should be nothing in my room. Nothing should be that far in to pull me. But I still was able to, and I remember so little, I did try to say, Jesus, like, I know I tried to say that. And I think that's what was able to let me go.
Yeah.
But man,
wow.
it was such a,
So I always ask this, and do you have any scars that are weird?
oh gosh.
From
yes,
like,
but
early age?
to be fair, I am a very clumsy person.
Well, because your bones have been taken out. I mean, it's got to be hard to walk.
I mean, like, I'm just like, no, I've always thought about, it's just, I don't know how it could have been something from TV or a movie.
Right.
That's like, it's just one of those things, but like, I have just pure terror when I think about it. And
I'm sure. How
it's
long?
just-
How long did your family live there before? You said this was 84, 85, but how long were they in Hampton, VA?
oh gosh, it wasn't very long because I know we moved back to Tennessee because I'm I was born in Oak Ridge.
Okay.
So like, oh man, that whole place is crazy. There's some stories there. But like all my family in Tennessee's got some just like, you're like, what? Like we've all got some kind of like horrible religious trauma, but man, we've also seen some things. We have seen and like experienced some things. So it's like, but those are just the two things that I cannot think how that could be my imagination, and that literally have like traumatized me still to this day. Like I
So-
still feel the terror.
I mean, I wish I had an answer, but I have talked to a lot of people who have almost verbatim the same story. Not so much in terms of the bones being taken out, but other things taken out, and even down to the telekinesis thing. That's why I asked if you remember what they look like, because a lot of people who have these stories, they talk about the grays
Or like-
going to the bedroom.
Okay, so
But what do they sound
that's the thing.
like?
I think it was maybe like when I finally was older, and I think it was the X-Files, honestly, to where I'm like, oh my gosh, those were those things that were in my
X-Files is
room when
based
I
on
was a
reality.
kid.
It's a
And
documentary.
Yeah.
But Alex, you're going to ask what they were saying, right?
Yeah, like, what do they sound like? Like, do they sound human? Do they
Right.
Like, you could.
they were talking to my mind.
Yeah. And but so you could understand it.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, and I can't even describe if there was a voice. It was just, they were kind of like, it really did feel like we're just being polite as a formality. We're taking your bones.
Wow.
These are polite.
But putting them back.
Yes, we will put them back. We will put them back.
Except for the right rib.
Something was like 4 hours. Like that's always kind of something that was, oh man, I'm still just getting the heebie-jeebies thinking about this every time.
Yeah.
And I really only told my family about this.
I actually know a guy who has a very, very similar story to yours, happened around the same age as well as you. You said you were in kindergarten?
Say what?
You said you were in kindergarten when this happened?
Yeah, I'm thinking so, only because I had to share a room with my sister, and
Okay.
I know that my sister was born in 85, so it had to have been around that time.
So I know an abductee group of people who can talk if you ever need to talk to other people who had similar situations.
In Pine Bush.
They're in Pine Bush, New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So hit me up if you have Twitter or Instagram or something. You just find me online.
I do. Oh my gosh. Okay, excellent. No, because I've always looked in searches like aliens taking bones, and I've never, not even on Reddit, I haven't seen anything, but I haven't looked in a while.
So
Because like I said, it just freaks me out.
It's a really good support group because, like, I know that sounds crazy, but these people hate frauds because this guy's like, if anyone comes in here with a fake story, I know right away. But they might be nice to talk to because they have very similar stories to you, and they happen at that young age.
I definitely just want to check it out because it is kind of like an isolating thing, or people just think like, because I am not like a storyteller, like.
I mean, you just freaked out everyone with that story. You're pretty good storyteller. Alex over here almost had to leave the room.
It freaked me out. Like, guys, like, it was not okay.
Yeah, the heart pumping, I visualized.
I didn't like it. I felt it.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Okay, right. And I'm just a little girl, like a little dude that, like, seriously, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I have kids, that age right now. I can't imagine them coming to me with that story. Be like, oh man.
Oh.
Well,
yeah, but then that's when people are like, "Oh, don't be making stop telling us," and then you really learn like nobody wants to listen to you when this scary stuff happens.
Well,
but then at least my dad would, because he had this scary stuff happen to him too.
Amazing. What were you gonna say, Kevin?
Yeah, well, there is a significance to bones. This was something I found when I was in Central America, and it even happened. So they had these giant bones that they were in this pyramid, and what they would do is they would force the children to stay in this pyramid for multiple days so they could commune with the entities of those bones. What? And so I started to do more research into it. Occult rituals all around, bones are very important for occult rituals. Whoa. They're used to connect to the spirit of that person or that being. Whoa. And so it's like there's a huge significance in the occult and the demonology world to bones. So there's a huge value to them taking your bones.
Yeah.
How do they non-surgically remove them? That's where I'm like, because I tell my son, I'm like, look, I'm going to try to call in tonight. I think it's time to tell my story. And he's like, no one cares. I'm like, listen, at the very least, they non-surgically removed my bones. Like, how does this happen?
The same way they talk to you is the same way they took your bones. They've got some special way of doing it.
Oh, it's so gross.
Well,
it was like such a helpless terror. Like, I will just.
Yeah, it's horrifying. That's horrifying.
Yes.
And did anything happen again after that?
Oh gosh, like so many weird things, like so many bizarre things. And then even kind of, it got better, I think, once we moved. But then, like, we ended up moving to Ohio. Oh my gosh! And then I really could go on forever, but I know there's probably other callers. I'm just hoping maybe someone will connect with me that's had like a bone thing, because I've even tried to pray about it, like, and I've just like gotten no answer, no. Oh, it was a dream. Oh, it was your imagination. It's just really. All I know is, regardless, like, the terror still is with me to this day, and I'm like 46 now, or going to be 46.
Well, and you made an interesting point too when you mentioned Jesus, there was kind of a dispersal of them. I've heard that a lot.
Oh yeah,
with stories.
Oh yeah, that's when I could, because it was such a strong grip on it was on my left hand too. It was such a strong grip. And I was able to pull, and I always remember, did I slam the door shut or did the door slam shut? It's one of those things I cannot remember. I just know that I was so terrified that I could not speak. And then I remember that scaring me even more, because I'm like, I can't even say anything. Nobody knows I can't say anything. I can't move. I'm just in a fetal position under my covers, under my pillow. And I just, oh man.
Someone wants to know if they cloned you.
Say what?
Were you cloned? Do you feel like yourself?
I have always felt like I would run into me somewhere.
Oh,
that's not me.
What an amazing
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I don't know.
I always felt like I would run into me somewhere. That is incredible. We've had someone on the show who believes that they were abducted and had their soul put into someone else.
Yes.
Yes. So I don't know if that Did you ask that, or was that someone in
Someone
the
in the
chat?
chat had asked if you
Incredible.
felt that. But we
that-
have had the guests come on and talk about it.
That was JK Ultra.
Yeah,
I think.
JK Ultra.
Wow. So listen, find me online. I'll send you that information. I'll send you a abductee support group. I hope they're still around.
nice.
And but you should definitely call back because I feel like you have a lot more to say.
Oh, I do. Oh goodness. But yeah, this was just the main thing. And I saw Area 51, and I was like, okay, I'm going to call, and I'm going to tell them how the
Awesome.
aliens took my dang bones. Like, what?
Incredible.
That's
I'm
the
sorry
title
that
of the
happened.
segment.
Sorry that happened, but that was a great story. Thank you for calling
Thank you
in.
guys so much.
Of course. Have a great night.
great
We'll talk
night.
soon. Wow.
Wow.
Aliens took my dang bones.
I
That
always
was
feel like
an
I'm gonna-
incredible story.
Dude, the best.
You know, only on Inverted World.
Only that's it. We have the best callers. It's
Yeah.
incredible. That was amazing. I feel like I'm gonna see me. I'm running to me somewhere. That's a scary. That's like a doppelganger thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like Twin Peaks. I was talking
Yeah.
about I love Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah,
And
classic.
the
That'd be a good
doppelganger
song
thing.
name.
Yeah, it would be.
I feel like
Yeah,
it's-
it'd be like
yeah.
a beautiful country song
Ooh.
or folky, scary song. I'll have to hit up Carter. Maybe we'll turn that into
There
a
we
song
go.
here. Yeah. Yeah, we have time for one more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do another caller.
Okay. I'm going to bring in another lady. I think it's a lady.
All right. Uh-oh.
Angela?
Oh,
Yeah.
Angela, you are on Inverted World Live.
We're in the background.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah. It's
You're gonna
you.
run into me sometime. It just happened. Angela, can you hear us?
Yeah, hold on. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on 1 second. Sorry.
It's all good.
Okay. I've
How-
done the Zoom, so I'm having trouble getting this.
well, we can hear you loud and clear. We're glad you're
Okay.
here. What's going on?
Okay, well, I was just gonna say, I've always believed in like supernatural or spiritual stuff or whatever, ghosts, things like that. But I had never really experienced anything. And then right after COVID was over with, my landlord that I rented from, they had to, they were selling, because I lived in a duplex, they were selling the duplex. So we had to find some place to live. Well, in California, and I live in California. In California, we were having a really hard time with like people buying up houses like left and right. And so it was really, really hard to find a home or even a place to rent. And so, for 2 months, my family and I were looking like, and as soon as we would, something would go on the market, within like a half hour, it would be rented or bought already, like sight unseen. So it was just really, really difficult. Well, finally, after 2.5 months, we found a house, and it's a little over 100 years old. It's a craftsman style house. And can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're great.
Okay. It's so quiet. So
I'm into it. We're enthralled.
I like a fast talker.
okay.
Get to the
And
point.
so, anyway, so we move into the house, and the lady that we bought it from, her family was the first one to own this house.
Okay.
So, and she was already like, she's I think like in her 80s or something right now or whatever, but her and her partner had lived here, when she was growing up, and her partner had actually passed away from cancer. And she told us that. So we knew that, moving in, and we're like, we're fine. That's fine. Anyways, so, we move in, and my son and his girlfriend and me, right away we start getting like really bad dreams. And, we don't usually have nightmares. I don't anyways. And so we were all having like really weird dreams and stuff. And, but we're like, nah, it's nothing. But then we were also kind of like a little bit like, well, it is kind of, spooky because it is like a really old house, and, somebody has passed away here, but we're like, nah, that's fine. But, little by little things would happen where we would hear like, it would be like you could hear somebody talking, like 2 or 3 people talking in a room, but like it would be muffled. So you couldn't actually hear what they were or like understand what they were saying, but you could hear them talking. And then if you would go into that room, there's nobody in there. That's how it started. And a friend of mine, when we had first moved in, I was showing him around the place because, it's a 2-story and it has a basement. So I'm showing him everything. And he believes in ghosts. And he used to live in an old Victorian house when he grew up, and that was haunted. And he totally believes in that stuff. So I was telling him that we were kind of thinking there might be something here. And I had never did this before, while living here. But I knocked on the wall. You know how you hear about like if you knock, then it'll knock back or something. Mm-hmm. Well, I knocked 3 times, and then right away we heard 3 knocks, like 1, 2, 3, like immediately after. And we both just looked at each other and we're like, nope, we're done. So we go outside and finish our talking outside. And then that was the only time that happened. And then in our kitchen, we have like there's a small hallway from our kitchen to our front door, and there's two closets that are underneath the staircase. Well, one of them, the door, when you open it, it's really hard to pull it open, and it scrapes on the floor, and it makes a really loud noise. And you can even see the scrape mark on the floor, so you know it's been like that forever.
Right.
I was taking my dog; she wanted to go outside, so I go from the kitchen to the front door, and then to turn around, and that was like maybe 30 seconds. And when I turned around, that closet door, the one that makes a really loud noise, was open, and it wasn't open when I had passed by it. So that was the first thing where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, there is something here.
Right.
So I tell my kids, and I'm like, yeah, I think we have a ghost here or whatever. So his girlfriend gets all scared, and she starts like blessing the house and whatever, and putting up, things and stuff. And I'm like, that's fine. And then what was it? The first Christmas, because we've been here for 3 years now. So the first Christmas that we were here, there's French doors in the dining room, and they're the glass. And I was sitting in the living room, and I could see, like into the dining room from where I was sitting. And I've never seen a shadow figure before, but it would be like, okay, so where the French doors are on the, inside in the dining room, there's also like a swinging door from the kitchen into the dining room. And it looked like somebody was standing in that entranceway, and from their waist down, they were leaning out, like looking towards me, from those French doors inside the dining room. And at first I thought it was me. So I started moving to see if it was my reflection, and it wasn't. And I was like, no, that's something there. And so I was like, no, I'm just going to ignore it, And then I kept seeing it like out of the corner of my eye. It kept like dipping forward, like if it was looking, like peeking out at me. And so I tell my father-in-law, and he always says that if there's a ghost, you just ask him where the money is. And then he's like, don't worry about it. Don't get scared. Whatever. Just ask where the money's hidden or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But, and then the last thing that really happened was, let's see, I was in my bedroom. I had my remote control for my TV, and I don't have like a lot of furniture and stuff. So I always set my remote in the same spot. And I was looking for it. I had just had surgery, so it was like, I kept everything like really close to me, like on my bedside table and everything. And I was looking for the remote, and I could not find it. I even had my son get on the ground, look underneath my bed, and underneath my dresser. We could not find the remote anywhere. So I was like, well, maybe when I made my bed today or whatever, it was in my bed. So I took off my comforter, my sheets, even all the way down to the mattress, and shook everything. There was no remote anywhere. So I'm like, well, I lost my remote. So I remake my bed, and then we go downstairs, and I get the remote from that TV, and I bring it up here to use. And as soon as I sit down on my bed, I feel something underneath, my hand, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the remote. And so I lift up the sheets, and it was all the way underneath all the sheets, the fitted sheet, everything, that you tuck under and everything. It was underneath all of that on top of the mattress. And but that's the last thing that's happened. And we haven't had anything happen lately. So.
And you're still there. You're in the same house right now.
Yeah. I
wonder what happened to make it all die down.
I kind of feel, like the last one, like when she hid my remote, because I feel it was a lady that lived here. I kind of feel that she was just checking to see if we were going to take care of this house, because I know that the house meant a lot to that family.
Yep.
And the lady said that if we ever decided we didn't want to keep the house, to let her know, because she would try to buy it back. But it's just, I guess she has several houses, here and in Lake Tahoe and stuff. So she just couldn't have all of the houses. But it really meant a lot to her. So I feel that the ghost was just checking us out and making sure that we were actually going to keep this house looking nice and taking care of it. And once she saw that we were, then she was like, okay, that's good. And then she just kind of left. That's how I feel.
Perfect.
Anyways.
I love it. I love a nice ending to a ghost story. You got a little haunting. You have some bad dreams. You had a shadow figure, but the remote went missing. But now you guys are living harmoniously.
Might have been an erotic ghost.
Maybe. Yeah, OCD ghost.
Yeah.
Just checking in. Well, that's great. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are doing well now, and everyone's settled in.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's incredible.
What a story.
I love the callers. You guys are the best. So for those who we did not get to,
Yes.
please call back on Monday. Love to hear from you. We will be back on Monday at 10 o'clock. But before we head out of here, 6-7 Kevin. Without giving too much away, not spoiling anything, is there an image from this documentary that stands out to you that maybe haunts you, that's going to bring people, that's going to change people the way they see what's going on in our society?
When he said an image, the first thing that came to my mind, and if you watch the documentary, you'll see it, but it is a very specific image of Santa Muerta, where it's just beautifully adorned skull with the flowers and the headdress all around it. For some reason, that one stuck with me because in the midst of all of the death, there's still beauty and life growing around it.
Great reminder. Great reminder. This is a really fun episode.
Oh, I loved it.
I'm so glad you were here. This is so much fun. Please tell everyone everything they need to know about you, where to find you, all those places, and the documentary.
Yeah, for sure. So Sin Frontera on Rumble on Tim Pool's channel, and then 6-7 Kevin on YouTube to check out my documentaries. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I want to come back. You know, Timcast is fun, but this is a whole different kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, you're always welcome. You know,
I appreciate
our
that.
first Nordic in the room. I'm going to say it 3. I'll use that joke 3 times. I don't care. But no, you're always welcome. Please, always welcome to be back in the studio. Alex, what about you? Where can they find you?
I am Alex Ayala on X sometimes. I'm not very vocal there, as most of you know. I am sitting in for Brandon Miner tonight. He will be back on Monday. I will miss you all. It's been a pleasure to be able to be back in the coffin room again. I just want to say, like the show, subscribe, follow, share. Send us your money. Always good to have your money. It supports the show. And see you next time.
Awesome show. So much. Thank you, everyone out there listening, subscribing, liking. You callers are the best. You guys, it's amazing. I love hearing from all of you and hearing your stories. So we're grateful for you. Again, please check out 6-7 Kevin's documentary coming out on Tim's channel on Rumble Monday, right?
Monday at 6.
Do that. I think this is going to be really, really awesome. So I'm stoked to watch it myself. You guys can find me online at Shane Cashman everywhere. And I hope you have a good weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Later.